It's Thursday afternoon. You're sitting in your car in the grocery store parking lot, staring at your phone. The meeting ran long, and you forgot to prep dinner. The kids need to be picked up in 20 minutes, and you still haven't answered that text from your friend to get a cup of coffee sometimes. You were doing so well. Last week, you had it all together. You made it to yoga twice. You even meal prepped on Sunday, and you got to journal for 3 days in a row. And now you're back here, sitting in a parking lot, scrolling through takeout options, feeling like you just lost all the ground you gained. And that voice rises again. See, you always do this. You were never going to keep it up. Why do you even bother trying? You close your eyes, you take a breath, and you feel the weight of it all pressing down. My friend, here is something I want you to know. You didn't lose ground. You're not back at the beginning. You are exactly where you need to be. We have been sold this idea that progress is a straight line. That if you are doing it right, you just keep climbing. No dips, no retours, no days where you're sitting in a parking lot wondering what the hell happened. But hey, that is not how it goes. That is not how life goes. That is not how change works. Growth is messy. Yes, I'm saying growth because, hey, friend, you're still here. This is already the third episode and you're still listening. And I'm sure you are still changing, growing. So listen, like I said, growth is messy. It is sometimes 2 steps forward and 1 step back. It is sometimes 3 steps back. And that annoying voice that tells you you're failing when you slip, that voice is measuring you against a fantasy, not reality. That voice is measuring you against your own stories you're telling yourself. Remember the stories from episode 2? Ah, come on. You already know how transformation or change or growth actually happens. And let me tell you about myself. Let me tell you about a setback I had. Actually, I could tell you about a lot of setbacks I had because being an entrepreneur, that is like gathering as many setbacks as possible. Or so it seems, though. Listen, in the past, I have tried to launch different things: a 90-day challenge, 100 days until next year, several promotions for my one on one coaching, and every time I launched something, crickets. Or at least not the response I expected. Not the validation I was hoping for. A few people reacted, and I'm still very grateful and very thankful for them. But fairly, for the most part, I got silence. You cannot imagine how many times I sat at my desk. Honestly, I lost count. Staring at that screen, thinking maybe I'm not cut out for this. Maybe this whole thing was a mistake. Maybe I should just go back to what I know. Maybe I need to find a job. Frankly, I almost did that a few times. But somehow, somewhere, something shifted. And I stopped asking, why did this fail? And instead, I started asking, what is this showing me? And the answer was clear. I was building the wrong things for the wrong people at the wrong time, the wrong way. I was speaking to an audience I thought I should serve, but not the audience I was meant to serve. Those setbacks are not failures, they are feedback. Setbacks are feedback. Every time it was a redirect. You can call it whatever you want. It was the universe, it was God the Almighty, it was life, but something was saying, not this way. Try again. Not this way, Koen. Try again. That is one hell of a big lesson I've learned. Setbacks aren't signs that I'm failing. My friend, setbacks aren't signs that you are failing. Your setbacks are signs that you are learning. And every stumble is data. Every fall is feedback. Every moment you think you're back at square one, that is actually just a new angle on the same path you're on. You didn't lose progress when you skipped yoga this week. You didn't erase 3 days of journaling because you forgot on day four. You didn't fail because you're now sitting in a parking lot ordering takeout. No, you are just human. And humans don't grow in straight lines. Oh no, we like to make it ourselves very difficult. We like to spiral. We circle back. We revisit the same lessons at, hopefully, deeper levels. We fall and then we rise with more clarity than before. So that's not failure. That is how it is supposed to work. This is life. So instead of asking, why did I mess up again? Stop that question. Delete it from your hard drive and try asking, what is this showing me? Maybe it's showing you that your pace for the moment is unsustainable. Maybe it's showing you that you cannot do it all by yourself, that you need more support. Maybe it's just showing you that you are tired, and that's okay. Setbacks aren't punishments, they're invitations. Invitations to adjust, to rest, to course correct, to come back. Yes, to come back. To come back to ourselves with more honesty than before. So, my friend, I have an invitation for you for this week. Your choice, but here it is. Think of one recent setback, one moment where you felt like you failed, like you slipped, like you lost all your progress, and instead of keeping beating yourself up about it, dare to ask yourself, maybe it's showing you that you need to slow down. Maybe it's showing you that something in your life isn't right for the moment. Maybe it's just showing you that you are human. And that, my friend, is not a flaw. Write it down if it helps. Yes? Write it down. Not as a confession, not as a failure report, but as data, as feedback. Feedback from a life that is still teaching you how to live it. Hey, my friend, you're still listening to this right now. Maybe in that parking lot. Maybe you're folding laundry just like last week. Or maybe you're lying in bed wondering if you'll ever get it right. Or maybe you are looking in that mirror again. Huh, I probably should start to sell mirrors, right? Hey, but my friend, I see you. That setback you're carrying, that setback that feels like proof you're not cut out for this, it's not proof of anything except that you are still trying. And that matters. My friend, you are not back at the beginning. Maybe you are just taking the scenic route, and sometimes that is exactly where you need to be.